Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Rugby Borough Council Cabinet for June the 27th. And before I start, welcome Claire to your first Cabinet. Pleasure. Before I start, there's an important item I must read out. There is no fire drill scheduled for the building this evening. If the fire alarm sounds, therefore, please could I ask that you make your way down the main staircase, out of the main doors of the Town Hall, and congregate at the entrance to Caldecott Park. An officer of the council will then give you instructions when it is safe to re-enter the building. I'm Councillor Derek Poole, Deputy Chairman of the council, and I will be taking Cabinet today. And the first item on the agenda is the minutes, to confirm the minutes held on the 6th of June 2022. I move from the chair.
I'll second.
Thank you very much. All those in favour? The second item is to receive apologies. Any apologies, Executive Director, please?
Chair, we have apologies from Councillor Mrs Crane, Councillor Lowe, Councillor Roberts and Councillor Roodhouse.
Thank you very much. Third item on the agenda is to receive declarations of interest. To receive declarations of interest of non-pecuniary interest as defined by the Council's Code of Conduct for Councillors. No. B, pecuniary interest as defined by the Council's Code of Conduct for Councillors. No. And third, under Section 106 Local Government Finance Act 1992, non-payment of community charge or council tax. No, thank you. Any questions, Executive Director, please?
There are no questions, Chair.
Thank you. Move on to item 5. If I can get it up on my screen, just bear with me. Growth and Development Portfolio Holder, Local Development Scheme, Councillor Ian Picker, please.
Thank you, Chair. So the Local Development Scheme updates the existing Local Development Scheme from 2019. It sets out the projects that we're currently working on in terms of development planning documents, the key ones being the Gypsy and Traveller site allocations and the Sustainable Development Scheme. It's a way of keeping track of what we're currently working on and engaging the communities, and I move the report as written.
Thank you. Councillor Mrs O'Rourke, any questions, please?
Yes, you mentioned in the report, which obviously is very important, the sort of local levy and moving forward about developing that. What's the sort of time frame around that?
So in terms of the planning obligations, supplementary planning document, it is set out in the report and it's hoped that we'll be adopting that by January 2023.
Anything further? Councillor Mistry?
No, Chair.
It's been moved by the Councillor. I'll second it from the Chair. All those in favour? Thank you. Moved. Thank you. Move on to agenda item 6, Finance, Performance and Legal Governance Portfolio. Councillor Ms Robbins, please.
Yes, thank you, Chair. In moving the recommendations as printed, perhaps you could note that there are carry forwards of 1.2 million. 430,000 of those are due to schemes that did not take place in year, and savings of 750,000. There's 1.1 million that was set up for COVID recovery and has not been used as much as was expected, as the pressures were managed by other savings. You'll see Appendix 1, which will detail that. Pressures also include trade waste of 300,000 due to decreasing levels of income from housing benefits of 300,000 and car parking fees of 195,000. All can be contributed in part to restrictions due to COVID. We're still having problems with recruitment, and this has led to more agency use and more advertising for staff, which of course has also incurred further fees. As you're probably aware, inflation is running very high at the moment, and this represents future risks to the council. At budget setting, it was running at about 3.5%, but is considerably higher at the present time. Officers are working in, what have I written there? Working in analysis of analyse the impact it will have, and it will be presented to the September reports. 500,000 of the carry forwards will be used to ease the pressure in year one, whilst plans are considered for dealing with the medium-term financial plan. The HRA has pressures of 358,000 and will be financed from housing revenue account revenue reserves. Largest pressures on the HRA come with the quicker than planned decant of Rounds Gardens, and that's had a significant impact. Quicker decant of Rounds Gardens created a £128,000 saving in supervision and management costs, so it wasn't all bad news. Across the General Fund and HRA, we have seen projects slipping as schemes have not progressed as initially planned at the start of the year. All details are in the report. Impact of increasing interest rate means that financing the capital programme has become more expensive this year, and it is recommended that the capital receipts held by the council are used to fund some of the schemes with a life of less than 10 years. This saves on the net cost of borrowing and the technical accounting of minimum revenue provision, which is a revenue cost in future years. This approach will actually save the council approximately £90,000 in 22-23. And with that, Chair, I move the recommendation as printed.
Thank you, Councillor Ms Robbins. As always, a good report from yourself and your Chief Officer. Any questions? No questions. It's been moved by the portfolio holder. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Ms Lawrence. All those in favour? Thank you. The following two items, 7 and 8, are considered en bloc. Are there any questions from Councillor Mrs O'Rourke? I move 7 and 8 from the chair then. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Ms Robbins. All those in favour? Thank you. Item 9 is a motion to exclude the public under section 100A(4) of the Local Government Act 1972. To consider the following resolution. Under section 100A(4) of the Local Government Act 1972, the public be excluded from the meeting for the following item on the grounds that it involves likely to disclose information defined in paragraphs 1, 2 and 3 of Schedule 12A of the Act. I'll move it from the chair. Seconder, please. Thank you. All those in favour? Thank you.